board president, the vice president, the board members,
my mind was with you.
the registrar, down to the inductees.
Yeah, my mind.
My name is Surveyors,
And I know what was done.
a software engineer by profession, a certified data analyst, and a staff of QSRBA.
You are my family.
I will be taking you through the web platforms of QSRBA. But before
I'll
then,
be calling you regularly now, since I know.
let me start by asking that how many of us are aware that the QSRBA has a website, functional website, that the QSRBA has a mobile app? If I ask, I don't even know how many of us that have the application on our phone. Yesterday I was very happy because the technical discussion was all about technology adoption and application in our day-to-day activities. And permit me to say this, whether we like it or not, as at today, adoption of technology and application of it in what we do is a must if you don't want to be obsolete. If you fail to adopt technology in your practice, other people will do the same thing, running the same service, smarter, faster, and easier, and people will prefer to talk to them. And on this note, for the board to make life easier for the RQS, the board decided to spend so much money in procuring a cloud space for all the registered QS and firms. In case you are not aware, you have a cloud space, you have a space in the cloud provided by the board for each and every RQS and approved QS firms, where you can actually showcase your achievements, where you can actually upload your experience, where you can actually upload the job done and the ongoing project for the worldwide to see it. Not only that, the board has provided for you a place where you can archive your documents, your certificates, which is accessible anywhere in the whole worldwide. Can we put our hands together for the board for this provision? Public consumption, we have a portal for personal use by RQS and VENTs, and we have a mobile application for responsiveness. I'll take the first one, the website. The website is actually for public consumption. You want to know about us? You want to see the information about the board? There are all that can be found on the board website. But before then, these are the automated services, the services that have been automated by the board. Gone were the days when you have to physically present at the secretariat before you can do your registration. Gone were the days when you have to come to secretariat to make payments for the form. Gone were the days when you have to come to the secretariat to pay for any services. But as of today, I'm happy to inform you that the board will now have all these services online. And as we are sitting here, with click, you can get any one of them done. The registration is no longer manual, it's now automated. Filling of the form, the interview, and everything can be done online without talking to anybody seamlessly. Another service that can be performed here online is payment. You can pay for anything online. Events. You want to pay for lapel, you want to pay for sale of fee, whatever service rendered by the board can be paid for at the corner of your room or inside your office without standing up on the seat. You can do whatever you want to do. So we have 3 services that have been completely automated by the board: the registration, the payment, and the report. And when I said the report, what I mean by report is when you pay for an event, you can access your receipts online. You can access your certificate with QR code authentication on it online inside your portal without talking to anybody. You can get a summary of the activities of the board on your portal. How many registered QS we have at the moment, how many registered firms we have at the moment, how many people are active, how many people have a current license, how many people are in the register of all our QS, whether active or inactive. So we have a report, we have payment, and we have registration. As a registered QS, somebody, you can be asked, that was the mandate of your regulatory body. What's the act? What are the mandates of the QSRPA? If you want to know, you can visit the About Us under the website. And this is the link for the website, qsrpn.gov.ng. As if you are with your phone or any smart device, kindly type qsrpn.gov.ng and you'll be on the page. The About Us is there. You are going to see the board mandates. Those with the current license, you are going to see the name firms, and those with the current license. In fact, what you are seeing is the home page of the website. After visiting the link, it brings you here. By clicking Pay QR, pay directly to the board's account, take you to a page where you are going to sign up. When you want to know about the regulation activities of the board, you can quickly click this. And for registration, it's either use the button up, and you can also apply through here. And for the accreditation status of the institutions, because as a registered QS, you can be consulted. That look, they gave my daughter admission to Social University to study QS. What do you advise? So you can quickly visit our website to know whether the school is accredited or not, so that after graduation, the daughter will not run into problems. Just visit here, check accreditation status of institutions, and you have all of them. It will take you to a page where you'll be able to see all that. Now, this is talking about who are we about the board. You know the rules, the policy that establish the board. Yes, please, go on. Yeah, we have the management team, the committees. These are the committees. We have a QSRPA. We have a committee handling registration and certification. We have committee on research and development, also general purpose and the rest. We also have committee on accreditation. Please, we have management team. When I said the management team, this is what I mean by the management team. We have the board, and you can read more about all this. We have our gadgets with us. Your phone is with you, your tablet is with you. You can visit the website as I'm talking, then you'll be seeing exactly what we are seeing on the screen. This is the board, this is the committee, and these are the principal officers of the board. So we have this, and it's out there, and it's of public consumption. And that's why we have 3 platforms. The website is for public consumption. The portal is for you. Like I said earlier, that the management has done so well by providing a cloud space for all the registered QS and firms. That is for you as an individual. We have the events page. Whenever there is a new event, you are going to see it on the home page under the events. And below the website, you are going to see a contact us. The experts that will take you directly to the QSRPA location. And we have our social handles here, the Facebook, the Twitter, and the YouTube. So please, let's exploit these services so that we can maximize the opportunity that have been provided by the board. So that is one of the platforms, and that is the home page, and those are what we can do on the home page. Now, on the website too, we have a media center. Under the media center, you are going to see something like press release. Whenever we have a press release, And whenever there is an event, we make it as an option where you can actually go to see the gallery. After this event, if you visit the website by tomorrow or next tomorrow, you are going to see the picture of this program, these pictures of this event, the doctors and others. You are going to see your picture under the media center. So let's move to the portal while rounding up on the website. Portal, please. Let's. The slide. On the portal, the portals equally provided the portal for the RQLs, because not all information we are going to put in the public domain. So we have a page, we have a space that has been procured specifically for each and individual. All the registered firms and all the registered QS has a page on the portal. Yeah, this is the portal, and the portal is, there is a link on the website. The last thing on the menu of the website is portal. Whenever you have anything to do on the portal, just click the portal and it takes you directly to the portal. And that's the page that was previously, projected. When you are there, I will do the practical experience, but let me explain this, because these are what you are going to see inside the portal. Now, we have a dashboard. When you log into your portal, we have a dashboard, and after logging, these are the items. Permit me to use that layman language. We call them menus, but let me use what we are going to understand. So these are the items you are going to find on your page. And the first one is RQS. Why should I select RQS? What can be done under the RQS? When you're inside your portal, you can actually see your status, whether your license has expired or your license is active, and you're actually going to see how many days you have left for that particular license to be expired. So you don't have to contact anybody from Secretariat. You don't need anybody's contact from Secretariat before you get to know whether your license is active or you are inactive. You have a dashboard where you can get every information that is required by you. Just log in, and your login username is your registration number, while the password, we have a default password, QSRBN. QSRBN is the default password, but the R is in capital, the rest and lowercase. Are we together? Your username, for you to log into your portal, you are going to supply username and password. The username is your registration number, for instance, 3216. Are we together? For individual. And the password is QSRBN, but the R in capital. Once you supply this, you will be given an access into the portal. But we always advise, immediately you log into the portal, the first thing you should do is to change your password so that other people will not have access to your dashboard. Please is the portal, and to secure your information. So when you log into the portal, after getting access into the portal, the first thing you are going to see on your dashboard is your status. You are going to see whether you are active or you are inactive. And then you are going to see the RQS. And under the RQS, what RQS stands for is Registered Quantity Surveyors. You might want to know. And you might want to see the list of registered QS. If you go to under RQS, you are going to see the list of all the registered QS, the dates of registration of each member, and you are going to see those that are active and those that are not active. In fact, you are going to see all the members' registration number. Are we together? I repeat, when you log into the dashboard, you visit RQS. These are things you are going to see under RQS. The list of RQS, either active or inactive. You are going to see the date of registration, and you are going to see the list of all the registered QS. Now we made a provision for you. You might want to search by using the registration number, or you search by name. You can be able to do any one of these. And you can even rearrange the name based on the number in ascending order or descending order. You can as well rearrange the list by name, either alphabetically, either in ascending order or descending order. So these are the features we have under RQS. So when should I go to RQS when I log into my dashboard? Only if I have something to check about any RQS. Probably I want to know how many people are active or how many people are inactive, or I want to confirm if somebody is a registered QS. Because you might be on a project and you need to engage a partner. Then you can quickly check whether your partner is active or inactive, and you can advise accordingly. So that is what we can do under RQS. We also have firms. For firms, the same thing applicable with RQS, but this time around it's for firms. Anything you can do under RQS, for registered quantities of yours, you can as well get same information, but for firms, under the firm. You can search for firm. You can check whether a firm is active or inactive, and you can search for a firm, whether the firm is registered or not. Then we have events. We received a lot of calls during the registration for these events. And we are trying to minimize that. And we are appealing to RQS and the firms to please go online yourself and do most of the things yourself. Because 2024. Or there is a conference coming up. You don't need to talk to anybody at the secretariat. You can just simply do that yourself. And how do I do that? Log in with your username and password into your portal. After you have access into the portal, just go straight to the events. And the moment you're on this page, if there is new events coming up, you are going to see the number, the upcoming events. You see how many events are ahead of you, whether 2 or 1 or whatever. And the moment I select the events, it's going to show me the list of upcoming events and the paid events. If you attend this annual assembly, in the next 20 years, your certificate will still remain on the portal. Those people that participated in 2021, 2022, if you log into your platform, that same certificate is still on the portal. You can access it anywhere in the world, and you can access it any time of the day. So, when you want to go for events, or you need a certificate of the past events, just simply go to under events, and you can make payment for the upcoming events. You can print certificates for whatever events that has taken place. And you can as well get the history of the past events. Are we together? So when you want to book for any other event, you don't have to send money to someone to book on your behalf. And you don't have to pay, transfer money to somebody's account. Simply log in anywhere, even if you're outside the country. You can access it anywhere. Just log in, and that can be done even on your smartphone as this. Because you have a mobile version of the portal that can be downloaded into your phone. In fact, you might be driving and just park a little. In a few seconds, you are done. Just click, supply your login detail, you access the portal, you go to the event, you make payments, and you are there. And when you need the past record of the past events, just go to the paid events. Those are the events you paid for. Are we there? Now, the next thing is financial services. Over the years, you are unable to make or to renew your license. You don't have to call the QSRBN accountant to know how much you are owing. You don't have to talk to Gusari to know how much you are owing. And now you have the means, you want to pay it off. Just log into your portal and go to financial status. You are going to see the breakdown of everything you are owing. 2021 annual assembly, this license, that license. You are going to see the breakdown of everything you are owing there. And you can make the payment right there without talking to anybody. And we make it flexible. In case you don't have money to pay it all, you can actually select the ones 10,000 naira you have. You can just choose one of the license, maybe 2021 license, and it's going to show under this. But what's the difference between this and what's the difference between this? If I didn't pay for my license and I didn't pay for events, I'm going to see everything under financial status. But sometimes if I have 10,000 naira to pay for only license, I don't have to come here. All I need to do is to come here. If I don't have money, and I have money to pay for conference, but I don't have money to pay for both license and events, all I need to do is to go under events, because that's what I want to pay for. But if you are interested in paying for all, then you come under financial status. And you see the list, and the total sum of everything you are owing, and you'll be able to pay for it all. But if I want to renew my license alone, all I need to do is to come under license. And I'll see the license that I've paid for in the past, and I'll be able to make payment for the current license. And right there, I can print out my license without talking to QSRB. You don't have to visit us. We want to minimize the crowd in our office. We don't have a bigger office that can accommodate so much people. So that is why we say we make it available and we make it easier and faster for you. So just log in and print your license. Pay for your license under license. Print your license right there. And for the paid license over the years, you are going to still have them on the portal for the next as much as you want it. If you still want to access last year's license, if you go to our platform, for those that paid for it, you are going to have it on the platform. We also have other payments. Under the other payments, there are other services you can pay for, apart from events and apart from the license. And some of them are lapeping. You need a scale of fuel. You have been given anyway, but in case you misplace it or you don't know where exactly it is, and you need another one, don't even bother yourself coming to the board. Just log in into the portal and make your request, and it will be provided and it will be available. You make the payment for the service, and you are going to access it right from your home at the corner of you. Send it down to your doorstep for you. Are we together after making the? So that is what comes under payment, under services. You want to pay for something else, aside the events and aside the license. You want to buy lapeping, you want to buy scale of views, or you need other documents that are not either event or license. So you can make the payment under other payments. We also have notification. The notification is whenever there is a publication, just log into your portal, you are going to see it there. And we have a data bank. This has not been published. This is for cost database. So we are still working on this. It's a data bank that will keep the record of the cost of the items and all that. So that at a glance you can log into the portal and check the price, the current price of different items as at. Let's see the live demonstration of the portal quickly. Click on, make it easier for you. The link is portal.qsrbn.gov.ng. The website is qsrbn. In front of that same address, and it takes you there. And if you don't want to remember all this long grammar, just visit our website. The last menu on the website is portal. Click the portal and you'll be there. Now, if I click login, this is where it will bring me. We have to create an account. This is for the guests. Or if you want to register as an applicant, you create an account. Or you want to attend our events as a guest, just create an account, attend it, and you have access to your certificate. Then we have your record. But I'm insisting at QS and friends. When I'm on this page, all I need to do is to, under the username, supply my username, which I've said earlier. Your registration number is your username. Please put 3216. Let's use everything. If you have your phone or something with you, can we please visit the website, click the portal, and use your own personal number, your own registration number, in the place of registration number, and the password. For those that have changed it, use your password. But for those that have not changed it, please use the password. And log in, please. Assembly is paid. That when you look at this, license status remaining 57 days. If somebody paid for 2023 annual assembly, why is it saying 57 days? maybe I should tell us, the license of the year lasts the 31st of the next year's March. License of last year is still running till 31st of March of this year. So these 67 days is to 31st of the March of this year, before the 2023 annual assembly will start counting the license. Are we there? Now this is this person's dashboard, and you have your name here. Click that name. You can actually change your password right from here, and you can log out. Yeah, change password. Once you select that, you have access to change your password, please, so that no one else will have access to your password. Your certificate for those that registered before the launch of these platforms. Please, we are begging you. I'm using this opportunity. Help us. Go online and update your records. Upload your certificates. It's not just for us, but for you. If you have your certificate with us, it's secure. And it can be anywhere. You need that same certificate. All you need to do is to log into your portal and print it out. So you don't need to be traveling with your documents. Just upload your documents, put it online. Once you put your documents online with us, anywhere you have, you can access it and you can print it out for something else. And that is why I said for all RQS that the board has done so well by procuring a cloud space for each and every one of you. This space you are seeing belongs to this same man, this same person. This is his own storage space. And he can upload as much as he wants on this space. No limits, no limitation. The manager them to be stressed. We want a stress-free. So this is the RQS, and you can check all this. Please say go to the events. Yes. Let me talk about this quickly. The events. So this is the portal, which is the second platform we have paid events. For this 2023, everyone you paid for, you are going to see it as booked. This person booked for 2021, 2022. Options. After this program, if you want to access your certificate, this is where you are coming. When you click option, you see you are seeing view and you are seeing receipts. After this program, you are going to see your certificate under this option. You are going to see your certificate. The certificate has not been uploaded. That's why it won't show at the moment. But the moment you upload it, it will be accessible via this platform. Are we together? So the other one, I may not be able to talk about that because of time. Update your profile. We need your record. We need your record. Please go online, log in, and update. I don't know what might likely happen later, but I'm sure that with time, the board might decide to give you access to your portal if you fail to upload and update your record. When we look at that, we have personal details, we have academic records, we have professional qualifications, and we have practice experience. At least can you recommend a quantity surveyor for us, that going quantity surveyors to participate in a project? How are you going to be recommended if you don't have your data? We can only recommend you when we know what you are capable of doing. And how do we know what you are capable of doing? It's by the required documents. So please, let's go online, log in into the portal, and update our profile. And also, we do select people for accreditation. If you have your record, we don't need to know you as a person. All we need to do is to query our database and give the criteria. Give us the list of RQS that meet these criteria. And if your name comes up, because it is not an easy task for the board to decide that they want to provide a seamless services to RQS and firms, that they want a stress-free environment for everyone, and largely by procuring a cloud space for all the registered QS and firms. Please, let's maximize the opportunity given to us by logging into our portal and update our profile, upload all the required documents, and it's for you as well. You might be outside the country and you need a document, all you need to do is to log in into your portal and print it out. And your recorder, your data, very safe with us, because while we are working on this, we ensure that all the software development life cycle are duly followed. So we have digital certificates on the platform. We have other security measures on the platform. We have required information. The last one, let me run it up quickly. We have the mobile, and everything I said on the portal, you can as well access it from your mobile fashion of the platform. The mobile app, if you are using Android, just go to Play Store, type QSRVN, and you are going to see the icon. Just click the icon, and you are there. If you are using SRVN, you are going to see the icon, click it, follow the instruction, and you are there. All activities, all services, anything you can do on the portal can equally be done on the mobile version of it. And why the mobile version? For easy accessibility. We believe most people are always with their smartphones. People are always close to their phones more than their laptop. And also, it is easier for you to quickly carry out whatever transaction you want to do with your phone. Then for responsiveness, we don't want people to start giving an excuse. We have the mobile version of it, I will have paid my money. Please, you have the mobile, and our advice is download it. Please, thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for take the second stanza. I will read of the national anthem as our opening prayer. I will read, and you direct our noble cause, guide our leaders' rights, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain. To build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Good morning, a round of applause. Welcome. You may please have your seats. Of Nigeria, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, ably represented here by the Acting Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Work and Housing, Engineer Folos Sean Esson, the President of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, Mutala Ali, the President of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, Michael Olayemi Shonubi, board members of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, invited guests, past presidents of NIQS in our midst, past president of Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria in our midst, fellows of the institutes, registered members of the board, inductees, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and I welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the 2023 Annual Assembly of the Registered Quantity Surveyors and induction of newly registered quantity surveyors with the theme Back to the Future. We're focusing on modeling the quantity surveying profession for globalization. My name is QS Bolaji today, and I will be directing the affairs of this opening ceremony. A round of applause for every one of us. We have invited guests, like I mentioned earlier, some of which we're going to have to recognize as we go on with the program. Once again, we want to welcome everybody. As our manner is here, it is very important that we give some clear guidelines as regards safety protocols and things that is expected of us in this ceremony. To start with, you understand that you are in a public environment and to a large extent you are responsible for your personal belongings. So please crave all the indulgence, so please hold on to your things properly. Be careful not to take on to what does not belong to you. And please, if for any reason you find anything that belongs to somebody else, you can please walk up to myself or any of the program directors to make the announcements. Also, for safety, if for any reason there's a need for us to evacuate the hall, we are to march directly towards the exit behind, and we also have an exit to my left-hand side here. We all have to converge at the muster point outside there. Our conveniences can also be located right at the hall and the lobby, right behind you, either to the left-hand side or the right-hand side for conveniences. Thank you very much. They simply said we're going to recognize all of them as we go on to their affairs. Without further ado and without keeping our guests waiting, I'd please like to welcome up here for the welcome address the president of our board, who I refer to as the #1 registered quantity surveyor in Nigeria. Please join me as I welcome up here the President, Malam Murtala Ali.
I'll start by welcoming the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, SAN, heavily represented by Engineer Kolo Shoso, who is also the active permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, the president of the Nigerian Surveyors of Surveyors, and your council members, the board members of the USRBN, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This year's annual assembly is coming at a time just before the election, the national elections. And we have to move it a little earlier so as to give people a chance to be settled at home or anywhere they're going to vote and to exercise their civic rights. But for Surveyors, this is a very significant milestone. We meet only once a year, and when we meet, we're supposed to review things generally that happen over the year. We're also supposed to reflect over the profession itself. We interact with each other and then come up with what we consider to be the future of this profession. We'll review our challenges. We'll also look at our areas of advantage and deploy them appropriately. Honorable Minister, for this particular board, this is going to be our last outing. This is we're in the 6th year of a 2-year tenure, or 2 or 3 year tenure of the board. And we've decided that this year we're not going to discuss anything new. We're going to review all our previous outings and then factor in our oncoming challenges and see where we're headed to. And this will also prepare the platform for the incoming board to build upon that and ensure that we have a good continuity. Honorable Minister, the professions, or most professional bodies, are in one form of crisis or dispute with their regulatory bodies. I want to assure you that for the surveyors, we've been able to manage that relationship. And it's not only being managed, but it's very, very cordial. And in the interest of the profession and our dear country, we are assuring you that that will continue. We have no cause to come to the ministry for intervention. We also want to bring to the notice of the Honorable Minister that we are one of the 5 bodies that are either underfunded or badly funded. We are not on the budget line. We survive on the little we raise from this annual event and the registration of members. So every year we end up in a deficit. Efforts have been made to see that we can cure Albion and similar such bodies, 4 of them, are on the budget line. We are yet to make it. We once in a while get some intervention from the ministry, which we truly appreciate. But it's a little bit meager, so that we still have to struggle to survive. Now, back to the annual assembly. We are taking 3 levels in discussion. 1, the challenges that technology poses on all professions, which includes counseling. We're going to do that. Yesterday we had a session that reviewed some of those incursions by technology and the challenges that we face, and also the opportunities that technology provides. Today, we're going to talk on strengthening the profession itself, to be able to position it as a global player. We are also going to look at how we shape up the profession by diversifying, by coming up with innovation and strategic position. So this is a culmination of all our previous activities. Previously, we had discussed the issue of technology, we discussed the issue of agriculture, the role conservatives can play in agriculture, roles that conservatives can play in mining, and so on. And frontiers where ordinarily it's not looked as the domain of conservatives. So we want to call on members, conservatives, to please pay a lot of attention. And our take home should be the best for the end. Academic practice, contracting, and all, we must pick something to go with. And I'm sure from what happened yesterday, presentation yesterday, where we have benefited a lot, and we're going to benefit more today. So, Honorable Minister, we welcome you, and we thank you for honoring the invitation. We're going to have a full day. Let me not just a welcome address. Thank you very much.
Please a round of applause for Mr. President. Minister, I did see the Honorable Minister taking notes, nodding and agreeing with what they are saying. So it is a testament to the fact that from your mouth to his ears, and I'm sure by the time he's up here to give the speech, he will make some decree here.
So I will not dwell on that. We are now going to be receiving good messages from our special guests. And at this point, permit me to invite to the podium Surveyor Suleiman Darma, former Registrar of SUCON and a former Minister of Environment. Surveyor Darma. Podium, the representative of the President of Koren, Engineer Julius Oloriola, FNSC, the podium.
Everyone, my name is Engineer Julius Oloriola, fellow of Nigerian Surveyors. I've been given the assignment to represent the President of Korea. He delights to be in our midst, but because of some government assignments which he cannot excuse himself from, so he has directed that I should be here to represent him. I will bring in his good message to the Assembly. Excuse me. The Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Abatunde Raji Fashola SAN, ably represented by Engineer Florence Esson, the Acting Permanent Secretary, the QSRBN President, Madam Rita M. Aliyu, NIQS President, Michael Shonobi, the board members here present, members, and the newly inductees. Good morning. Let me start by congratulating the board, the leadership, and members of the QSRBN on this historic occasion of its 2023 Annual Assembly and induction ceremony of newly registered quantity surveyors in Nigeria. QSRBN has been very consistent in its effort to ensure quantity surveyors practice as professionals in Nigeria. This is manifested in the activities of the board over the years. Ceremonies like this highlight the recognition of individuals who have set themselves aside to practice as such professionals. I am indeed impressed, and I urge the board to keep up the momentum of growth. I am greatly honored to be invited as a special guest of honor at this August occasion with the theme Back to the Future, refocusing and remodeling the quantity surveying profession for globalization, a theme that is very apt and appropriate in this time. And professional organizations like QSRBN towards the promotion of value creation, technology development, and economic growth. Over the years, Korea has enjoyed very commendable collaboration with similar boards. It is Korea's quest to carry out our mandate, particularly in the professional development of Nigerian engineering practitioners. We are also keen to ensure rapid infrastructural development of the nation in accordance with global best practices. This is better achieved with partnership with other professionals in the built industry, like QSRBN, whom Korea believes can assist enormously in achieving its mandate. Korea seeks cooperation from other professionals in building greater alliances and opportunities for effective development and advancement of the built environment in Nigeria. We will continue to do all we can to develop these alliances. It should be noted that this strategic alliance is generally in cooperation and coordination of designated responsibilities among goals, ethics, and standards, and supported by laws to deliver quality and cost-effective services, products, processes, etc., to the satisfaction of a greater Nigeria. To the newly 300 registered quantity surveyors, Korea sees you as our alliances in the fight to ensure professionalism in all spheres of nation building. We join hands with the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria to say welcome on board. Ladies and gentlemen, I, on behalf of current council, wish you all fruitful induction ceremony. Engineer Ali A. Rabiu, Fellow of Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of American Society of Civil Engineers, and member of Order of Federal Republic of Nigeria, the President of Korea. Thank you. And
Engineer Julius Oloriola, FNSC. In continuation of the goodwill messages, permit me to invite to the podium the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, represented by Dr. Michael Adeboye, who is the Deputy Director, Department of Agricultural Land, Climate Change Management Services. You are welcome to the podium, sir. Can I please? Board of Nigeria, all other representatives of the ministers here, all the invited guests, distinguished journalists and press men here, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Michael Adeboye, here representing the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Abubakar, who is unavoidably absent here due to important occasion that have made him to be absent here and have sent me to represent him. I'm here to deliver his goodwill message. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to deliver this goodwill message today as a special guest in this annual assembly of Registration Surveyors. It gives me much joy to know that this year's assembly will seek to review the sub-theme opportunity for the quantity surveyor and its quantity, and the quantity surveying services in agricultural sector, which was discussed extensively in 2021 annual assembly. This is an indication that the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria has an interest in seeking to development of agriculture and rural life, which is the primary assignment of my ministry. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has a mandate to ensure food security in crops, livestock, and fisheries, stimulate agricultural development and services, promote the production and supply of raw materials to agro-allied industry, provide market for the products of industrial sector, generate foreign exchange, and aid rural socio-economic development throughout the country. This enormous mandate, involvement of quantity surveyors in appropriate aspects of agriculture and rural development projects will definitely help to judiciously manage the government finances. Quantity surveyor service can be deployed in the area of farm settlement establishment, flood control projects, erosion control projects, and mega irrigation projects. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development will continue to collaborate with any organization that shows interest in the development of agriculture and rural life in Nigeria. Equally, we will not hesitate to render any assistance within our reach that can promote the efforts of Surveyors Board. They are professionals
quantity surveyors in this year's assembly, let me make it known to you that the federal government of Nigeria is doing everything possible to ensure that there is food on everybody's table. In line with your decision to review the sub-team opportunity for the quantity surveyors and the quantity surveying services in agricultural sector discussed in 2021 is a step in the right direction. I believe the conclusion of the review will lead to a favorable service delivery. I congratulate the professionals gathering here to be part of the history to be made. I wish you fruitful deliberation. Thank you.
Former Registrar of the Surveyors Registration Council of Nigeria, Surveyor Suleiman Darma, walked in. You are welcome. Sir, you may come to the podium to give us a goodwill message. We had earlier called you, but
here ably represented, members of the National Assembly, the President of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board, the President of the Nigerian Institution of Quantity Surveyors, and other presidents of allied institutions here represented. It's really a pleasure being invited to deliver this goodwill message. As an allied professional and closely related with also the President of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board, I think this is a program which I really belong and don't have to be invited because of the value you add to service delivery in our great nation, helping in conserving our scarce resources to deliver human life-touching projects prudently. And I think the theme for this session is apt, knowing very well that boundary lines, professional boundary lines are crashing. Therefore, we need to sharpen our skills by the day so that we can meet the demands of our clients and to be able to serve our dear nation optimally. So I want each and every one of us that is here from the session that started yesterday to what we are going to do today to be able to have a lot of takeaways that we will apply to our daily services. And to the newly registered surveyors, I want to appeal to you that some people are here because they have a vacation. Some people are here because they want a meal ticket. But the core professionals are here because it is a calling. I want each and everyone that is going to take a certificate here today to go and serve ethically. With that, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. Thank you, and God bless you all.
message. Her Excellency, the former First Lady of Benue State, Architect Dr. Yemisi Suswam, who is also the MD, All Purpose Shelter Limited. They are construction consultants and developers. She is the wife of... Welcome to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. The President of NIQS, past presidents, honorable ministers for Agri and Housing, very distinguished quantity surveyors, Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am very honored, humbled, and of course delighted to be invited as a special guest in this very unique assembly of registered quantity surveyors. I must first commend the presidents and the leadership of this unique assembly. I must commend the quantity surveyors for giving it fit to be gender sensitive. And I mean it. Quantity surveyor is something I was almost graduating in. I wanted to chicken out of the profession of architecture because my friend, of course, we were only 2 girls in the class out of 13 students. And my very good friend, who was like a sister to me, could not make it to read architecture. Then I looked at myself, I said, I'm going to be the only one amongst the boys. But somehow, my HOD refused to let me go. So I pray there will be many more like my HODs here who will not let the women go out of this profession. I sincerely commend the president and the leadership of this very, very noble board for sustaining these annual events, which I believe has served as a perfect platform for quantity surveyors and indeed all stakeholders in the profession to gather and brainstorm with the aim of building capacity and sharing requisite knowledge and skills. Your theme for this year is so apt. Back to the future, refocusing and remodeling the quantity surveying profession for globalization. I pray this will dovetail into refocusing the synergy between other professional bodies in the building field. I think, going by this theme, the Nigerian quantity surveyors have the intention to carefully address these assembly issues that can help them have a better focus in terms of standard professional service delivery, which can be acceptable globally. And I believe you are more than able to achieve this. I therefore counsel that this annual event should also continue to pursue some other issues still outstanding within the built industry generally, like the issue of building collapse. Everywhere you go, they see a professional, they ask you, what do you think about this collapse building menace in the country? I think it's mind-boggling, really. And this noble profession should synergize with other professionals in the field to stamp out quacks in the profession so that we can have it. By inviting us here as colleagues in the industry, you are telling the whole world that we professionals in the construction industry should unite for the purpose of tackling matters that relates to the socio-economic agenda of our nation, Nigeria. It is therefore my earnest prayer that we succeed in our efforts to make the industry very unique and very vibrant one for that matter. In carrying out construction projects as developer, I personally make sure that our professionals in the building industry were all carried along at all levels of the construction. Whatever construction we do, we don't even commence without an assembly of every professional in that field. I've always carried out all our projects using qualified quantity surveyors because I know the role they play in terms of construction and cost management. If you ask me, I would say no project, and I repeat, no project should start without a quantity survey. And when that is done, there will be no need for any abandoned project at all. When I see abandoned projects, I'm like, oh my God, didn't they plan this? But you cannot have a plan that is successful without planning the cost. And so, in the on that note, I want to congratulate each and every participant, and I wish you all a very fruitful celebration, and God bless you all.
I think we should give Madam a standing ovation. She has really spelled out the importance of the quantity surveyor in the built environment. A round of applause for him, please.
His Excellency Babatunde Fashola, Sam, and Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, heavily represented, other excellencies here present, the President of Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, Madam Murtala Aliyu and his executives, the members of Quantity Surveying professionals, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. I am here to represent the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, Malam Kashifu Inoa Abdullahi, CCIE, who wished to be here with you but is unavoidably absent as he is attending to another official engagement elsewhere. My name is Engineer Dr. Mohammed Said Kumo. I am the head of Project Management Unit of NIDA. So kindly permit me to read the goodwill message of my principal. Duly and respectfully observed, a very good morning to you all. The theme of the 2023 Annual Assembly of the Registered Quantity Surveyors, Back to the Future, refocusing and remodeling the quantity survey profession for globalization, has come at a great time in the new normal following the COVID-19 pandemic that brought unprecedented disruption in almost all human endeavors, particularly in the field of ICT and collaborations, fast-tracking the transition of the world to a global village. The global village concept sees the world as a single community linked by ICT devices. In this perspective, globalization can, in simple terms, refer to the removal of space boundaries, enabling seamless engagements, leveraging information technology devices. Globalization has brought the world together by encouraging more trade among nations, more open financial institutions, and greater flow of investment capital across international borders. It also enables professional teams the opportunity to work collaboratively irrespective of geographical distances that separate the members. It is evident that for professionals to be relevant in this highly dynamic and ever-changing environment, they must be futuristic, flexible, open to change, ready for the skilling and upskilling their competencies. Artificial intelligence and robotics as a digital platform where Nigerians can harness and develop their skills in emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, edge computing, quantum computing, virtual reality and augmented reality, blockchain, Internet of Things, and the 5G technologies. So on this note, I would like to appreciate the Quantity Surveyors Administration Board of Nigeria for the foresight of coming up with a cogent and timely theme of this assembly, while thanking you for your kind invitation and the opportunity to present this goodwill message. I wish you a fruitful and a wonderful deliberation. Thank you for your time and God bless you.
Please, we can give him another round of applause for his speech. Permit me to welcome the Registrar for the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor Adisa Demola Bellu, who is represented here by Mr. Aminu Kanjiwa, MNIOB. Thank you very much, sir. Why are you looking at me for today to continue with the program? You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Lovely. Good. Lovely. I could probably just do a recap of all the good old messages before you start any project. It came from the mouth of an architect, you know, and being the speaker here, he also concurs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking globalization, right? A lot of people have talked about the need for us to also collaborate. No, collaboration is not somebody studying to become a lawyer and then start working for Loma. There are two different things. That is not collaboration. All right, we are talking about how within the construction industry we cannot be together. Somebody say, all right, interesting. I'm laying the foundation because I'm sure very soon the big fish you have in our midst is probably going to be laying some groundwork as to what the future entails. We really want policies, we want decrees, we want affirmations, we want people to be intentional about what it means to have quantity surveyors rights involved in our youth environment and of course the economy as a whole. Distinguished leaders and housing, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, ably represented by the acting President of the Ministry of Engineer Folorusho Eson, to please come up here for the speech. Please a round of applause for the Honorable Minister. Please clap it. It is important to clap.
Registration Board of Nigeria, the President, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, I'm here on behalf of the Special Guest of Honor, the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, who had actually planned to be here. It was only last night that he told me to go and represent him. I don't have a prepared speech. I'm just going to respond generally to the issues. This present administration appreciate the role of the quantity surveyors, who are our construction economists in the delivery of the various infrastructure projects, particularly the national housing and the federal secretariat. And you agree with me that we have been commissioning some of these projects. Like on the issue of architects and quantity surveyors, I think the architect is the planner, and it's after the plan is done that it can be costed. So on this issue, I differ, because you don't cost what you don't know. So we have been commissioning these projects to the glory of God
and to the efforts put in place by the team, which quantity surveyors play a big role in our endeavor in the ministry. Then on the issue of funding of the board, we already have Koren enjoying government patronage. We have Akon also enjoying government patronage. Now that we need to do something for the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, we will make serious efforts, and I think people, you too, can also talk to the National Assembly members. I know some National Assembly members are even Quantity Surveyors. They should be able to help us to get this board listed on our budgetary subheads. Then the federal government, particularly the ministry, is happy with the harmonious relationship within the board. Because right now we have crises in one or two boards, but the QS board is not one of them. They have not been coming back to us for arbitration, for settlement, and we believe everything is well. On the newly inducted members, I wish to inform you that your services are needed, because we cannot go on without engaging quantity surveyors. So you are not in the wrong place. Quantity survey is a good and promising profession for you. I congratulate you and I wish you all the best in your professional practice. On the issue of, I think I've spoken on the issue of, on the team, which is back to the future, the focusing and remodeling the quantity surveying profession for globalization. The Honorable Minister, we to identify with this team, and all in our power will be done to make sure that we succeed. Because as I came in, I saw somebody explaining to us the database that you have created, which will go a long way to actually enhance the practice of quantity survey. It's on this note that I wish to congratulate you for this assembly and to wish you successful deliberation. And all your concerns will be taken to the Honorable Minister for his attention and further action. Thank you very much. God bless you. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, I wish to declare open this General Assembly of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria.
Perfect gentleman to his core. You know, he has a way of giving these speeches that goes with his courage and the way and manner he even walks out. By the time I call him and he starts coming, you understand what I mean by that. He's a fellow of the Institute, and he's not just a board member. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Vice President of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, and he'll be coming for his vote of thanks. Look at him, perfect gentleman. He's going to take it as slow as possible. He's not going to.
It's good to have talents over and above your basic calling. And Shotunde does that for us, and we're very proud of him. Task to give the vote of thanks on behalf of the President of the Board, PSRBA. So I stand here and existing protocols. I wish to, in particular, thank the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, who has been very well represented by Acting Permanent Secretary, Engineer Lawrence Johnson. So thank you very much, Dan. And please convey our thanks and gratitude to our Supervising Minister for honoring our invitation. These assembly that we hold are never really complete until we hear from him, having declared our assembly open, and then we go on to discuss other things. We want to also take the opportunity to thank everybody who has come out here to send us, to deliver goodwill messages, to us. What that does for us is show solidarity of our players in the industry and even beyond. We had the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. We thank you very much for that. We've had Corinne, we've had Linda, we've had architect Mrs. Siswan. We very much appreciate you being here. We want to thank in particular the former Minister of the Environment, who I hear is also registrar, has been registrar of Southern. We thank you very much, Southern Victor. We want to thank the current president of the NIQS, our very own Michael Shinobi, with his team, his vice president and all. One of the things that we have enjoyed in the QSRBN has been that deputy presidents of the NIQS serve on the board. So by the time they've done 7 and 4, they understand us, and we have gotten the best possible support that we can expect again from them when they become presidents of the NIQS. It's been so since the days of our current president, Tilali. And so we had wonderful support from Nashile, from Abator, from Chile. I want to thank also all of our past presidents of the Institute who have, in spite of the vast experiences, participated in these assemblies since we've been having them. We want to thank all members of the QS profession who are here. I want to just very quickly say to the inductees that you've been listening to the president of the board and all of the people we have brought here to let you know what the point of surveying is all about and how you should begin to envision your future in the profession. Where that you have chosen by yourself. So I would say go out there and be the best quantity surveyors that you can be. Thank you all for being here. And God bless you all.
Am I showing in any way? Oh, wow. This is all my English class for today. All right. Honorable Minister, say change. So please a round of applause for them.
FNIQS, PPNIQS, Managing Partner, Counsel Associate, and President, African Association of Quantity Surveyors, AAQS, is online with us now. And QS, Dr. Aminu Mohamed Bashir, FNIQS. Managing Partner, Mobile Consultants, Senior Lecturer, Ahmadu Bello, Cairo University is online with us too. Principal Partner, Pram and Bell, we are waiting for him, Abba Ngawa. So on stage with me this afternoon is our former President, QS Mohamed Abamtor, PPNIQS, FNIQS. Managing Partner, Kamal Associates, and QS Dr. of Department of Quantity Surveying, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, and also the co-developer of Q Cloud Austin. So our section is quantity in Nigeria, how we can strengthen quantity surveying in Nigeria for organization. As we all know, quantity surveying profession is facing new challenges in the global economy, including increased competition, the need for more specialized skills, and the need to adapt to new technologies. To address these challenges, therefore, the profession will need to refocus and remodel itself to better serve the needs of clients and to remain relevant in the global market. So I'll set up the ground rules now. Each of the discussants, because of time of the people virtual, they will speak extempore, from their own perspective on the theme of the subject matter we are discussing. And then the audience will ask questions based on what they've said.
Yeah, I can hear. So can the future, talking about the strength of our profession. I see it as a with NIQS, because this is part of NIQS required in order to rejuvenate the institute. We need to take it on very good institute and the president and the influence of on our profession. In doing job to this, we need to do a special analysis of the environment, both environment, and the two we do what is which is their strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats confronting us as at this point. Now, once we diagnose a problem correctly, the problem is out, if not something. So to strengthen our profession, hello, can you hear me?
With you, you are breaking in between.
Yeah. So to strengthen our profession, we need to take an in-depth look into these environments, internal environment and external environment. Now let's look at about our weaknesses. I'm going to talk about our weaknesses and also our threats to our profession. So I will leave the strengths, I will leave the opportunities. They are there, they are part of us. But the weaknesses, we need to focus on the weaknesses and also focus on the threats. So I will start by talking about the weaknesses. What are the current weaknesses in our profession? The number one weakness is a lack of financial strength of practitioners. Our practitioners were remunerated
information concerning our profession. We're just looking at take off and landing, tariff permission, final account. We need to think outside the box and operate widely. In a wider context. Another weakness of quant surveyors is the insufficient or lack of understanding of profession. I've been a member of the NIQS since 87, I must say, 87. And that's like about 36 years ago. So I can say I know a bit about our members and how the profession is being practiced in Nigeria.
Okay, Mr.
Many of our members, we operate on this pecking order.
We are talking about globalization and strengthening the QS profession back to the future. I would like to interrogate the EU by looking at the variables that make up the issue. Globalization, the QS profession, and then the future. What's globalization? What's globalization? Globalization has to do with the shrinking of the world into a global village. A village is defined by its close-knit nature. In a typical village, your neighbor is a shout away. Okoro, please, I need your attention. And Okoro is here. In a global village, the man in Canada, the consultant in Canada is a button away from you. Technology makes it possible. So you organize a Zoom meeting where the different team members, the different consultants are discussing EU across the different continents of the world. Yeah, they are far away, but technology has allowed the world to become smaller and smaller. So when we talk about globalization, we are talking about this, the interdependence of economies, of cultures, a kind of interdependence that is enabled by technology, by trade, by information flow across borders. In this kind of world, how do we strengthen the QS profession? If technology is the driver of globalization.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shana, for this perspective. We'll come back to you to see how we're going to be IT savvy. I don't know if your mic is okay. Oh, all right.
Thank you very much. It is really a privilege and honor being here. Let me begin by tying my thoughts to my distinguished last speaker. Let us look at the variables speaking of this theme. The quantity survey, you have the globalization, and also strengthening, that's the moderating variable there also. Now, the quantity survey is a profession, and profession is defined as knowledge attained after rigorous academic preparations. And professionalism comes in with a lot of conducts, qualities, etc. And some of the conducts and qualities are as contained in NIQS documents and also in QSRBN documents. What are they? Few of them include integrity, competency, confidence, value for money, value for quality, and accountability. Now, these are the qualities every professional person or every quantity surveyor should possess. And the professionalism comes in after going through so many stages. While trying to prepare for this event, I stumbled over a research conducted somewhere on the African continent. And the inclusion of the items on what we call the components of professionalism are exactly as we have in our NIQS, QSRBN collaborative documents. It starts with, first of all, the academic exercises or academic studies from the universities and polytechnics. Then those institutions are accredited by accredited authorities. Then it comes down to skill, that's the logbook that we used to fill. It comes to examination, sitting for examination at NIQS level, and certification at QSRBN, licensing of the members, licensing of the organizations. These are components we have to belong to professional bodies. And then finally, you also have to have ethics and conduct. So when I went through this, I became so happy because these are exactly what we have in our system. So now, so what are you strengthening? So you have to strengthen those items that I mentioned in order for you to compete globally. Globalization, I want to tie into the preparations made already by you. Globalization means movement of goods and materials across borders, and that also includes technology, labor, and capital. So it means it's a phenomenon that has come to stay, and you cannot stop it from happening. And if that
It's highly confirmed if QS Dr. Bashir is on, if he has solved this problem.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, fine. We'll take you now.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for having me. Private sector, but institutional and also academic. A research conducted by the Nigerian Institute of Quality Surveyors in year 2020 identified poor visibility, competition from other professionals, and also the prevalence of facts as major challenges to the quantity surveying profession in Nigeria. This is part of the outcome of the rebranding process of the institute that was initiated by the immediate past president. So I think from the institutional perspective, we have a big responsibility to ensure that we carry out advocacy across various stakeholder groups, especially the government and also other MPAs and international players. Because unless people know what you offer, there will not be visibility or patronage by the populace. So that is something that will really ensure that we strengthen the profession. And also,
Akim Belu, MNI, to give us his own perspective.
The three compartments, that is digitalization, economic recession, and climate change. Let me start under the climate change. There's no gainsaying for us to know that our society, are we ready to act as actors in the global scene, which are very, very in doubt, because quantity surveying is a subset in the construction industry, and environment has proportional direct influence on the way we practice in an environment, and that is where the political will comes in. Whatever we are discussing here, political will is what is going to drive whatever something we are coming up with. Government has to set the environment right for it to act as a global citizen and as a global professional. Like it has been said by the other discussants, globalization is a word to describe interdependence of culture, knowledge, through cross-border trade and movement of goods and services. That one has been established. But are we ready for it? I will do that one for you to guess the answer. The environment we are operating in, are we ready for globalization? Is something that we need to interrogate. So let me come to the institutional approach. NIQS and Quantity Surveyors Registration Board, all we need to do if we want to belong to the global environment. NIQS, we have our strategic action plan. On that document, we have 11 thematic areas. Under international thematic, we sign a lot of reciprocity agreement with some institution abroad. What are we gaining from it? Is there any exchange of knowledge? Is there any exchange of information? I mean, some people have gone ahead of Nigeria, and that is digitalization.
marketed by which tech or the long-span aluminum roofing sheet. Let's talk about it. You have a drawing. One of the payment items in a bill, one of the things a client is going to pay for is the roof covering quantity. You have a drawing and you want to generate the quantities. The procedure for doing the measurement is known. But because you don't have time, you should be able to generate that quantity from the roof plan area. What's the relationship between the roof plan area and the installed roof covering quantity? That's the question. Now, to answer that question, you need data. You need data about roof covering quantity, installed roof covering quantity for a number of roofs and their roof plan area, and look for techniques that will relate it. A popular technique will be a multiple regression equation that shows that the installed roof covering quantity is a function of the roof covering area as well as the angle of inclination. But for you to show the relationship, to arrive at an equation, a model that shows the two, that shows that relationship, you will need a lot of drawings. That's data. So my point is this: we must learn to collect data in our offices and then make it available. When I come to your office, we are doing a research, you say it's confidential. I mean, what's confidential about roof covering area? You see, when we contribute to this kind of research, we are leveraging technology. Let me quickly say this. My team is currently looking at something. It's possible now there is what we call voice-to-text technologies. They are very mature. By just talking to a bot, I said, this is my roof covering, the area of the roof or plan is 200 square meters. Please tell me the roof covering quantity, the installed roof covering quantity. We can develop such model. My team has the capability. So, but we need to train, we do have a lot of data is needed to make that happen. So, contributing to teams that are doing things like this way is one way we liberate technology. Learn to use technology. We must be all to resist change as a man. But we must
everybody that is resourceful, they cannot be able to accredit the institutions that are training quantity surveyors, students in quantity surveyors. And secondly, in terms of education, the NUC must ensure that the curricula is always at par with global best practices, and also not only having the curricula at the academic institutions. Are the staff well trained? Because sometimes it is about training.
Conventions, AQS, assembly, things like that. Thank God both NQS and QSFP now actively involved in AQS activities, and thereby opening up the country, Nigerian QSs, to the entire African continent. And I must say this has paid off because in Africa, Nigerian QSs are recruited to be among the, if not the best, let's say among the best.
In order to, I think the NIQS and the QSRBN should first and foremost be appreciated for coming up with this groundbreaking idea of organizing this program to look into the globalization issue. Of the customers, that is the most important. The clients that are coming in with their money, they are coming with dollars. They wouldn't come in with dollars. And you are presenting to them your own approach and dictating that it's either that or nothing. To my mind, the time for that is almost past. Thank you very much.
Collapsing efforts, we need to tell ourselves the gospel truth. Are we in the global scene? We need to sharpen our knowledge in direct foreign investment, capital movement around the globe, and digitalization. To answer your question, what NIQS and saying for exposure? This is part of the exposure because for the younger ones, their code of conduct that you newly adopted must follow. You have to be honest. There's integrity and honesty in whatever you are doing. Good service. You don't need to compromise your staff. Avoid being induced by gratification and money for you to falsify your document. These are the ethics of profession that you must know. The NIQS has have it, go and check it, you will see what are the code of conduct and behavior that you expected to conduct yourself. There are 5 key things that you must know. Then, what I can advise, we need to come with disruptive policy. I hope the president of NIQS and QSRBN, we need to establish cost data bank. I don't believe that we need to benchmark some country. If we have cost data bank and we are rolling out information, digital content, people will come and benchmark us. And we've been talking about this over and over. I think the next priority is that the QSRBN and NIQS are working together. The issue of cost data bank is very, very key. You can participate in preparation of budget. You can participate in contract auditing. But if you don't have the cost benchmark, how do you do that? Individually, we may be doing it. But QSRBN and NIQS, we give flesh to that. If cost data is coming from the institute, like you can key into the website of the QSRBN, you can get some cost information. We don't have cost information yet. And that is the way we can start, patronizing, marketing ourselves into the global scene. There are a lot of things.
NIQS Foundation is an NGO. It's an arm of NIQS. It's a baby of NIQS. So what we do in NIQS Foundation? NIQS Foundation is, what happens globally, like I said about globalization. The foundations can receive grants internationally and use it to help all these resources we're talking about. Training, making sure you are digitally savvy, making sure that you can compete favorably with other international organizations. So please, but before we get to the stage of getting those grants, we need to internally help ourselves. We have salaries to pay, we have outreach to reach. I am doing this pro bono, nobody's paying me. It's part of my contribution to the profession. So please come on board and help us. Refer us to people that can help us. Organizations and offices that can give us donation or grants. These grants are going to be used for each and every one of us, depending on the area we're focusing on. Please, I beg you again, NIQS Foundation is for all of us. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
It started at international construction measurement standard, but at a certain level, it was changed or it was redefined because of some certain variables that came into it. And is this supposed to be only quantity surveyors that are involved in the international cost management standard? No. There are engineers, there are architects, there are other professions. So I'll just talk briefly. If you don't have the detail, maybe if you are supposed to take the detail from 2015 to now, it's going to take out the of ICNS. Now, the aims are just few. We have construction costs and other life cycle costs to be consistently and transparently benchmarked. What it means here is that if you want to compare apple, you compare apple with apple, not apple with bananas. And that's what we have find ourselves doing most of the times. We'll compare apple with a banana and we say this. I will explain further, maybe stand permit on that. The second, causes of differences in cost between project and constructed asset can be identified. Now, it has been discovered that there are a lot of causes that that make the cost of a construction project different from maybe from Nigeria and a lot of Ghana. There are causes for that, and of course, we need to have those differences and harmonize it internationally. What you may call here your preliminaries in other places, they may not consider it that way, or contingency in other places, they may not consider, and taxes, it may not be considered that way. The next is properly informed decision on the design and location of construction project to be made. There are also parties to that. As a matter of fact, they are the initiator of this international cost management standard. Maybe as time goes on, I will tell you why it's so $1. And the same design, 10-story building. And they found out that US project went into $1.2 billion, while Australia had their own $950 million. So what was the cost? Now, they now have to sit down and ask, and they engage RICS. What is the cost? What brings about the differences? And they now ask RICS to find out the differences. Of course, there were differences. What the Australians consider as cost in the construction project, the US do not. Or what US consider as cost to the construction project, Australia did not consider that.
Shaping the future of the quantity surveying profession. Then I will get back to my panelists. Very quickly, we are sitting in between you and your lunch, so we will have to, and we will take our 1 hour, we'll do an extra if there is one. And there are fears that we entertain as members, whether individually or collectively as quantity surveyors. Very quickly, please.
Former President, about let's build quantity surveyors. It's one to our future. When we first started to quantity survey, I was just pre-awarded institution. All other institutions were doing the HMD informal process. But I tell you what, at that time, the surveyor who was graduated with OMD finds himself in the practice, and he can handle just about anything you throw at him. Today, you have degree awarding institutions everywhere. But the graduates of those institutions come out, you give them a 3x3, 3x2 gatehouse to measure, and they mess it all up. Gentlemen, especially the young entrants into the profession, including all of you have just mentioned.
To start with you, it is indeed for me to get to moderate the president. I mean, I'm used to being moderated by the president in council meeting. Today I have some moral powers to moderate. I hope that will not be used against me subsequently. You are the number one quantity surveyor as far as NIQS is concerned. So we want to have your own perspective about this issue of the future of quantity.
And I'm also happy that at least, well, I don't know whether some of the inductees are left, but I hope most of them are still here. Because we can't be talking about the future and not talk to the inductees, because you are the future of the profession. Apart from those who probably passed through the mature, some of you are younger ones who just got into the profession. But some of you not. Around 1983, when I started out as a trainee, I also had the same fears. I'm proud of my fears. That was an era when we had the introduction of quantity software, when the so-called master bureau and SNAPE and so on, when they all came into the scene in the UK. And I used to follow the journal of the RICS, they called Chartered Quantity Surveyors. My boss there, Mr. Aaron Akido, become associate. Being a fellow of the RICS, normally we get the journal. So we had it in our office library and I don't miss it. But 40 years down the line, we still have quantity surveyors. Future, what has changed? And let me just paint a little story. In my time, my principal partner, or the owner of the chief advisory of Advisory and Partners in 1975 had taken quotations for a 12-seater Gulfstream jet. Why? because we had projects all over the country, and he was thinking of how fast to get there. In Adesoye and Partners, in 1 year, we did 72 projects in Kaduna office alone. If we had our reference AAP/1972/KD Kaduna /72, that was the 72nd project in that year in Kaduna office alone. So if you're looking at, look, what has changed? Gentlemen, the past and today do not resemble. This is the problem. That's why we're all asking ourselves, what has happened? Many things happened. Economy collapsed. And like your domestic economy, if you were thinking of building a house or buying a car, if you lost your job, what do? You keep that aside and start feeding yourself only. Same thing in national economies. When the economy is collapsed, the capital aspects of your budget or spending pattern, they collapse. Construction is the first to be kept aside. So at every boom of construction, it has also affected consultancy services, and many collapse when the economy is collapsed. Then came fee competition. How time? Can I still go?
Has changed. Historically, this profession started with the called measurers, and it was all about quantities of work done in the 16th century. By the 17th, 18th century, quantity surveying became known as a profession. It's been 350 years. We are still here. 350 years down the line, quantity surveying will still be here. Why? Because development does not stop. Industrialization will continue to expand and to grow. When the pyramids were constructed in Egypt, it was the wonder of the world. But today, constructions are going on. People are spending resources, not just money. There are all kinds of resources that are being expended. So as long as development will continue, and man will continue to evolve in this knowledge, and in whatever discipline it is that we find ourselves, our profession will continue to exist. Now, because change is constant, we will not exist in 10 years, in 20 years, the way we are now. I know we are celebrating our software, the ones that we have today. In another 10, 20 years, we'll be hearing more. Currently, we started, this chat GPT has been the wave, the trend, artificial intelligence. Some years down the line, it's going to be another development. Ladies and gentlemen, change will continue.
I used to know when I was young, they either packed up or they stopped practicing, or the principals died and the fellows packed up. Now, the lesson I want to us to learn from here, that's where I want to digress more from the other members, because I want to talk from the point of practice. Why is it that people cannot coexist in very simple partnership? Why is it very difficult for us to do partnerships? Why is that everybody wants to run school practice? Why is that everybody wants to be a very small fish, a very big fish in a very small river? Why we have difficulty? All these talks, all these people that have spoken before us, past president, Louis came on board and talked. Louis, I want you to know that there's no quantity surveying farm that I know from Kaduna or from the north that can compete favorably on that scale we are working on. My farm, ACC, Associated Cost Consultants, is about less than 40 years old. We started around 85, 86. 85 December. It is the only farm, quantity surveying firm that I know in northern Nigeria that the partners have not broken up. Every other farm we know that started about that time to date, the partners are not together. So what's the problem? I think we need to go back. And while discussing here today, I would like to be very, very practical. I don't want to go in all these academic things that people do.
Mr. Nashile had mentioned earlier that one weakness we have is that most of us do not have money. The reason why we don't have money is because a lot of us practicing quantity surveying are not making anything out of the practice, especially for young persons. I have seen it, a lot of young persons do not have what it is to fall back to. So the practice of quantity surveying has become very uninteresting to a lot of young persons. We had a young person who came to our practice to do his IT, and he told us in clear terms that immediately he's done with graduation, he's going to do something else. He's not going to practice quantity surveying because there's something in it. And that brings to fore a problem that is persistent with young people. Do you know that a lot of young persons, we just had about 316 persons who were inducted, and that brings our number to about 4,820. We're not plenty, but you see, a lot of us feel that there is nothing to do, especially the young persons. That is because a lot of young persons do not see quantity surveying beyond, my boss will say people are measurement champions. Beyond measurement, preparing bills, doing valuation. That is where quantity surveying starts to a lot of young persons. But that is wrong completely. And it is because of this, because the question is, how many bills of quantities are you even going to prepare? How many drawings are you measuring? How many valuations are you doing? These things are not jobs that are everywhere. You wait for during procurement times to get bills to price. People, young ones have gotten frustrated in this, and the reason is this, because we have not diversified. And that will bring me to the issue that the moderator has asked me to talk about, diversification. Do you know that quantity surveying profession has a whole lot to do outside of preparing bills of quantities and measurements? And I tell you, these things that we do not know are even the things that make the practice very interesting. Do you know that you have a place in the real estate industry? Do you know that in quantity surveying we have a place in dispute resolution in construction matters? We have a place in oil and gas. We have a place in the academia. We have a place in training. We have a place even in social media. I was telling the moderator this afternoon, that even in social media, we can practice quantity surveying. The thing is that we have not gone, we have not diversified, we have not seen these areas, then where we can go. Let me take them one after one. It could be business level kind of diversification, it could be corporate level. When I mean business level, I'm talking about diversification within a sphere, within a field. And when we say corporate diversification outside a field. Now, because we are discussing professional diversification, we are talking about business level kind of diversification.
I was only trying to say we haven't given the audience the opportunity to talk. I've also not had the opportunity to ask questions. But one last comment I will make is we have all been talking about information and knowledge worker age. I mean, ever since yesterday we have been discussing about knowledge. And the last question I will ask the audience will be, how much of our own money are we willing to invest in knowledge? When, if NIQS today decides to organize a workshop that will improve our capacities, or the QS Academy that we all agree to set up to take care of our specializations and then charge a token, I mean, how much of our own money are we willing to spend on that? And I would want to believe if we are not ready to change our priorities and spend more on our own capacities, the journey will still be very long. So on this note, we will want to take one or two questions from the audience if there are. If not,
talking about strategic positioning, that you also include. For instance, how many registered companies of yours do we have, either in executive or legislative arm of government? And we have an election coming up in some couple of weeks, and probably we have one of us that will be contesting for a position in Plateau State in the House of Representatives. Yesterday we said we will try. We should not just support him by word of mouth and prayers only. But
the earlier the president said the earlier consequences went into agriculture and failed. I hope it's not trying to discourage people.
It was walk up stage. Please come and collect your
Okay, sir. Right, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Okay, sir. All right. Look at sir. Look at. Okay, sir. Okay, look at.
Thank you. Please, let's go here. Professor Kolumni Yukatu to also please come up. A round of applause for first prof. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution as always. Thank you.
All right, sir. Look here, sir. Look here, sir.
Thank you to also members of the board for the wonderful gesture.
This is the communique, and this was jointly prepared. Okay, I was looking for you with Dr. Shola, and it read thus. Communique at the end of the 2-day 2023 Annual Assembly of Registered Quantity Surveyors, organized by the Quantity Survey Registration Board of Nigeria, held at the Mario Babangida Auditorium, National Center for Women Development, Abuja, between the 1st and 2nd of February 2023. Preamble. The Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria is a statutory body established by law to regulate and control the practice of quantity surveying profession in all aspects and ramifications in Nigeria. Annually, it organizes an assembly for all registered quantity surveyors in Nigeria and inducts new members who have been certified and registered as quantity surveyors. The 2023 Annual Assembly, which was held, like I said here, with the team Back to the Future, refocusing and remodeling the quantity surveying profession for globalization, featured goodwill messages, paper presentation, panel discussions, book presentation, exhibitions, and a keynote address by His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing. After 2 days of exhaustive engagement, the Assembly issued the following communique. 1. That technological advancement and globalizations are realities that have come to stay, and professional quantity surveyors cannot be isolated from their effect and must therefore do everything to adopt and key into today's development to remain competitive and relevant. 2. That the quantity surveyor must acquire and update skills and competencies that will enable them to appreciate, operate, manipulate, deploy, and use tech-driven applications, platforms, and softwares that are currently in use and new ones that will be introduced to the marketplace. 3. The quantity surveyor must exhibit high ethical conduct, character, values, and professionalism in the discharge of their statutory and duties and in the different calling or assignment as may be entrusted to them by the society, including politics. 4.
that professionals operating within the construction industry must cooperate, synergize, and present a united stand, but also respect the professional boundaries that delineate the professions. 5, that the QSIBA is one of the 5 built environment regulatory bodies that are not currently enjoying statutory budgetary allocation from the government and wish to solicit as a matter of urgency for that allocation, as the board currently operates from the meager income it makes from membership registrations and periodic handouts from the Ministry of Works. 6, that the National Council of Works must be enlarged to accommodate professional bodies and other relevant stakeholders so that the council is populated with trained, knowledgeable, skilled, and experienced and up-to-date professionals. 7, that the more reciprocity agreements like the one signed with the Canadian Institute of Surveyors and Australian Institute should be entered into with other sister professional institutions around the world. That is laying emphasis to the subject of globalization. That government at all levels, federal and state, should provide more enabling environment to construction professionals and conservators in particular to enable them to compete on the international scene. 9, that the quantity surveyors must upskill themselves to use technology and lead multidisciplinary practices that offer one-stop consultancy services to clients to conform with trending preferences globally. 10, that conservators should rise beyond the limits of traditional roles of the profession and diversify both horizontally. We'll talk about horizontal as fields of the other fields of human endeavor, and vertically, that's various sectors of the construction industry, into areas like training, real estate development, dispute resolution, advisory services, construction-related training, and other services that their training and education allow them to deliver. 11, that similar opportunities given to the quantity students to go to industrial training and SciWest should be created for quantity lecturers and members of the academia to have professional stints or vacation with practicing firms to acquire out of classrooms and practical experiences, which will enable them to acquire more industry-based exposure as part of efforts to upskill themselves. 12, that professional conservators should feel confident, upscale their self-esteem, and desist from exhibiting timidity and inferiority complex amongst other professionals, especially within the construction industry. These were some of the major highlights as captured by the committee. Thank you very much.
Existing protocol, because time is fast spent, and I don't see any reason for us to be kept waiting any longer. I would like to start by saying we give all praises to God for getting us this far. I also want to say that appreciation is duly extended to all our members that are here present. I thank you for attending this 2023 Assembly of Registered QS, which started yesterday with the induction lecture to the newly registered quantity surveyors. I'd like to tell you that the message of the induction lecture, which is also apt for all of us that are present here for this annual assembly, is that we should do the right thing and do things rightly. That I think should be our take-home from this annual assembly. And I want to also tell you that future assembly should also continue in that line. Because we look at our country, quite a lot of things are not done rightly, and they are not being done the right way. I appreciate the efforts of the entire staff of the PSRBN Secretariat. I also want to appreciate the efforts of the local organizing committee, of which I'm just standing as a representative here. I'd like to tell you the story that Professor Yaya McCarthy happened to be the substantive chairman of this particular LOC, but because of the recent calling at the national level, being seen from our qualities as professional surveyors, is unable to conclude this arrangement, and that is why I am standing here to do this closing remark. And again, though not as board members, as our tenure ends this year, but as fellow RQS, come 2024. Thanks and God bless. God bless you.